Hello everybody and welcome to this latest episode of The Money Man. Now, before I start this video, I want you to know that there's a very important message at the end of this video, and it's something that you guys, my viewers and subscribers, can really help me out with. So do stick around for that message at the end. It's very important. Now, today I'm going to show you a very impressive banknote from the small but immensely wealthy African nation of Zamunda. Zamunda. You might be thinking I've never heard of Zamunda before. That's not a place. Well, you will be right to ask those questions because Zamunda is not a real place at all. It is not a real country. Now you might be thinking, well, how can I show you a banknote from a country that doesn't even exist? Well, to answer that question, we need to delve into the realm of modern cinema. That's right, and I want to draw your attention to this wonderful movie, Coming to America, starring the absolute legend that is Eddie Murphy. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail as to what this movie is about, but I will contextualize how banknotes come into this right now. So this movie was made towards the end of the 1980s. It's very funny, very witty, it's very heartwarming, and it's a very charming film, kind of a little bit in your face as well. And what happens is basically Eddie Murphy is the sole heir to the throne of this tiny but immensely rich and remote African country called Zamunda. And all his life he's been waited on hand and foot by servants. I mean, they even have people to wipe his ass. That's how privileged this guy is, right? He's got it made. But when he has a marriage arranged for him, this becomes the catalyst for him to really want to go out and explore the real world and live like common people. So what he does is he pretends to move to America. So he actually goes to America and he pretends to sort of move in as a migrant. And he moves into one of the poorest areas of New York, Queens. And he just gets a regular job. And the reason why he does this is because he wants to have real life experiences, and he wants to find a woman that loves him for who he is rather than his immense wealth and his titles and privileges. So it's a very, very, very funny film. If you haven't seen it, definitely watch this movie. So where do banknotes come into it? Well, to explain that, I kind of have to go into the plot a little bit, but I won't spoil the movie. Prince Akeem, obviously, he doesn't tell everybody that he's a prince. He conceals his identity and his wealth, and he forms relationships with regular people in America and New York. And these people have no idea about him. But later on in the movie, it's revealed to him, or to those characters, that he is actually a prince of immense wealth. And this is evidenced by the banknotes that are introduced in the movie with his face on it. And you can see an example of one of those banknotes right here. This is the Bank of Zamunda £100 note, and it's absolutely brilliant. Now I want to point out some of the key features, because that's going to be very important in the next few minutes. So, let me draw your attention to the portrait on the right side. You've got this oval shape. You've got Prince Akeem. You can see his name, Akeem, and he's sort of glancing over to the left side of the note. And just to the left of his portrait, you can see the coat of arms of Zamunda, which is also featured on the Zamundan flag, which was in the introduction. It says Chief Cashier just underneath. You can see these spiraling patterns that go through the banknote. It says £100 in this sort of like wonderful sort of wavy font that's connected all the way to the words Bank of Zamunda at the top. And it also says, I promise to pay the bearer on demand the sum of £100. And you can see that we've got two serial numbers, one in the top left and one in the bottom right. Keep those features in mind. Now, you've probably already realized, just like I did as soon as I saw this in the movie, exactly what the inspiration for this banknote is. If you've already figured it out, well done you. I spotted it straight away and I decided I had to make a video about it. But before I show you its inspiration, here is an image of that banknote in the movie. So the banknote is given to the character and the character's like, damn, Akeem's a prince and he has his own money. It's really, really good. And you get a really nice close-up of the banknote. And as soon as I saw this, I was like, I know exactly what that is, or I know what inspired it. So I got very giddy, and actually when I researched it myself, I was exactly right. So, a massive ego trip for me. So, what is the inspiration for this banknote? Well, here it is. It's the Bank of England £1 note, part of Series C that was last issued in 1978 and ceased to be legal tender in 1979. It's this banknote. This is the inspiration for the Zamunda £100 note. That's the only denomination that's actually represented in the movie, is the £100 note. So it's really, really interesting. You can see all the same features are there. You've got the oval portrait of the monarch, the portrait of the monarch within this sort of oval. The edging of the oval is the same. You can see we've got Elizabeth, just like we had Akeem. You can see the portrait is facing the exact same way. You've even got the same angle of the person's body. If you compare like the angle of Akeem and Queen Elizabeth II, it's exactly the same. We've got the same font moving through the banknote. We've got the same sort of spiral patterns. We've got Chief Cashier at the bottom. We've got, instead of the coat of arms of Zamunda, we've got Britannia, a symbol of the nation. We've got the same serial numbers, the serial numbers in the exact same place, top left and bottom right. It's the same damn banknote. So there we go. Now you might be thinking, why did they not choose the US dollar? Well, that would be too confusing for the movie, right? If the money of Zamunda looked exactly like a US dollar, it might confuse the plot a little bit, because the character receives this currency that he's never seen before. If it just looks like the US dollar, it'll lose its impact. So it makes sense to have something that looks, completely obscure and different to the character's eyes. But it also makes sense that it would be based on a British banknote as well, because remember, Zamunda appears to be a post-colonial African nation. There are other hints in the movie that there is a certain British style in the military uniforms and stuff like that. So I get the feeling that the unwritten backstory of this country is that it was formerly a colony of the British Empire, part of one of, Great Britain's African possessions. And you got to remember that it makes sense that you'd use a European currency for this fictional African country, because European countries colonized Africa so extensively during the age of colonialization. So it makes sense, and obviously Great Britain was probably the most dominant power, European colonializing power in Africa, so it makes sense. You've even got countries today, think of Sudan for instance, that use the Sudanese pound, or other countries that still use pounds, shillings and pence. This is a hangover from colonial times, so it makes absolute sense. So I've got to say, I'm pretty impressed with the props department for this movie, because they really went into the fine detail, and it works. So there you go. There is the inspiration for the Zamundan pound note. It is Series C, the Bank of England £1 note, and I think it's absolutely brilliant. So there we go. So what we can do is we can look at these features by putting the two banknotes side by side. So you can see we've got the Zamundan £100 note, and just to make everything that I've said far more obvious, there is Series C, the £1 Bank of England note. The similarities are, very, very easy to see. As plain as day, as we say. Okay? So there we go. I think this has been a really fun video for me to make, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. Something a little bit different for you today. Now, if you haven't watched Coming to America, I highly recommend that you go and watch it after watching this movie, watching this video, because it's a really, really fun movie. So there we have it. That's everything I've got for you today. Now, I've got a very important message to share with you, and I think something that you guys can really help out with. This is my friend Ben, or more accurately, this is his channel, Numismatic Notes with Benjamin. Now, without compromising Ben's privacy, I just want to say that he's going through a bit of a rough time at the moment, and I think we could help him out by showing him some love and boosting his spirits. So what I would like you to do is follow the link in the description, go over to Ben's channel, watch some of his videos, subscribe and give him a few likes and show him some love. And hopefully this will raise his spirits. So please go ahead and have a look at his videos. He's got over 100 videos filled with topics about banknotes that have incredible similarities. He's got a very interesting analytical style of video creation, which I think you guys will really appreciate. I certainly do. And he's very knowledgeable, so please go over to his channel and give him a sub. I'm hoping that we can get him up to 500 subs in a very short amount of time. That would be amazing. So Ben, if you see this, I'm thinking of you and I hope you're back on your feet very soon. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. It's the Money Man signing out for now. Bye bye.